place that cultivates and cares for everyone is the most vital place for every Jewish community.
Well, many years ago, my father was involved with Or Sameach and the Rabbi Nota Schiller. The Or Sameach group decided they were going to open a small learning center in Forest Hill Village, and my father sponsored it.
So Nota Schiller, he was really the instigator of the synagogue. He brought, I think, Ellie in. Ellie was in Oshawa, and he said to my dad, here's a nice young rabbi, needs some support. You know, help him out. So helping him out, renting space, turned into, as we say now, the synagogue.
Rabbi Eli and Rebbetzin Rivki have a very fascinating life definition. The only thing they wanted to do with their lives was build a Jewish community.
Rabbi Garfunkel is truly one of few people who've been able to penetrate the heart of the Jewish community in Forest Hill. He's witty, he's smart, and he's dedicated.
I've never found him to be anything except genuine and honest in what he's trying to achieve for the cause.
You can speak really well about Rabbi Eli, but it's almost impossible to speak about Rivki. She's so fantastic. You know, she's a light in the world.
And it couldn't have been done without him and the vision that he had. And he started really with a shul above a Starbucks. On Spadina.
You know, when I first heard about it, I'm like, it's above where what? In the village? What? And when I went to see it, they had managed to space it out, and there's doorways everywhere so that more people can fit in and spread them into the other rooms. It was definitely cozy.
You felt like you're at home. And Rabbi Eli's speech and the praise and everything, and the community, and to get to know people.
Everything was right. I mean, the Starbucks and the success of that Starbucks shul, starting from nothing and seeing what it turned into, you know, screamed that we need a shul here.
I had a very funny and very powerful conversation with Murray Goldman. He says, Eli, you just have to do it. And then we looked around the room, all the stakeholders in this project, and we said, you know what, we got to go forward.
I think it's pretty safe to say that this would not happen without Joe's grandson, John Kaplan.
Well, I mean, my brother John has really carried on my grandfather's legacy, both in spirit and in actual action. And I think his dream was to put a synagogue in downtown Toronto, and particularly in the Forest Hill Village.
We felt in the Forest Hill Jewish Center there was a challenge of trying to build a new facility that would act, appropriately as a place of worship, a place of celebration, but at the same time speak outwardly to the community.
The Albert and Tammy Forest Hill Jewish Center is really a design of the ages, in my opinion. My wife Rivki came up with the idea that wouldn't it be appropriate to build a replica synagogue, and we came across a shul in Yazlel, Poland, that was the center of Jewish life for that little shtetl, for that town.
And when the Nazis set fire to it, the firemen came and put out the fire. And the Nazis then held the firemen at gunpoint and made them light the fire again. So it's a very particularly symbolic representation of how indestructible we are.
And I think for me personally, and I know for many others, that idea resonates with a tremendous impact.
My grandmother was born in Poland, so it's a replica of Polish synagogue. So that's why it's so special for us too.
After the Holocaust, never again, couldn't stop there. How do you make sure that it doesn't happen again? It's to increase life and livelihood in the Jewish community all over the world. And this is one of those, testaments to that.
We don't give up. We won't fail, no matter what adversities come.
We had a Jew that was last remembered Yazlo. He had his bar mitzvah in the synagogue before the Nazis took him away. And he came here 70 years later and read from the Torah, and he was bawling. We were all crying. And what he realized at that point was Am Yisrael Chai. The Jewish people are not going anywhere.
I can't think of one detail in this shul that we were building that was not complex and that wasn't what you would see in a custom home. It's to make you feel that you're at home.
But being in the building, it's you feel good. It's great natural light in the building. The sound is good. It works. It works. I guess they must have known something back in Poland, from like 100 years ago.
Well, I'm in construction, and I think I can't believe what they did. And it's that bima and that, it's just gorgeous, so it's really, really nicely done.
It's awe-inspiring, really.
It really is.
The Aron Kodesh Torah Ark in the New Forest Jewish Center is an effort to try and recreate the ark that existed in the synagogue in Yazlo, Poland.
The fact that it was built in Israel and designed there speaks to that and creates the origin, the DNA of the fact that it's from Israel.
The Torah Ark became a very personal thing for the people who built it, and it was the largest they'd ever built.
We transported it piece by piece, shipped it here. We had a large team from Israel that came as well and helped with the assembly of it.
With the new building, we have the ability to provide so much than what we were before. We have now facilities for weddings, for bar mitzvahs, for events.
We have tons of kids programming. We just built this beautiful synagogue. We have a preschool starting in September. We have bar mitzvah programs, bat mitzvah programs, community chesed, kindness programs. We have seniors coming in, not necessarily studying things Jewish, but doing things together in this neighborhood. It's hard to speak about the Torah dedication without crying. We marched from Starbucks down here to the center for the first time. And really, the only thing I wanted more than anything was for my grandparents to be here. They're the real heroes. They went through the Holocaust, lost everything, and said, I'm going to persevere.
It was really sort of like the culmination of that year. We all felt the sense that we'd done something that was going to last, something really beautiful for their memory. And all of our family was together from Israel, from New York, came in for the event, and the generations flourishing, reaping all of the blessings that our parents had given us and their parents. It just was a magical type of moment for us.
To have a synagogue which he had so much, I think, attachment to is a great legacy for him, and I hope it'll last forever. And it'll be a memorial to him and my mother and all the hard work and they put into the Jewish community over many, many years.
A place that cultivates and cares for everyone is the most vital place for every Jewish community.